ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನ್ಯೂಸ್ 26ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ.
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಹವಾಮಾನ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಥಿತಿಸ್ಥಾಪಕತ್ವ ಯೋಜನೆಯ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಹವಾಮಾನ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಥಿತಿಸ್ಥಾಪಕತ್ವ ಯೋಜನೆ ಬಿಸಿಎಪಿಯನ್ನ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತಪಡಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದು, ನಾಳೆ ಈ ಬಿಸಿಎಪಿ ಕ್ರಿಯಾ ಯೋಜನೆಯನ್ನ ಗಣ್ಯರು ಮತ್ತು ಪಾಲಿಕೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಗೊಳಿಸಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Good morning, everybody. Respected dignitaries on the dais, dear school children and friends. As you all know, Bangalore is known by various names: Garden City, Silicon City, the capital of the information technology industry, etc., etc. But as we are going forward, we also know that there's a lot of effort required from all of our sides to make the city more livable and more inclusive. The BCAP is one such plan, one such agenda to make the city more inclusive and more livable.
Plan BCAP. So just to kind of quickly set a bit of context, with more than half of the world's populations residing in them, cities are on the front lines of sustainable and inclusive development. Now, by now you know that there are many reports from scientific community telling us that climate hazards are going to become more widespread and more pronounced. There is also evidence that the impacts of climate change will have profound consequences for livability and prosperity of cities, and that battle of climate change will be lost or won in cities. In Bangalore, which is the economic powerhouse of KANNADA, this means we will have to find ways to reduce emissions and
Finally, to conclude for the launch of BCAP, I am here to propose vote of thanks to all the dignitaries on the dais. First of all, the BCAP summary report is available. You can just scan the QR code in the panels, and also
not only an imperative for the public sector, we must make this point very, very clear, though they will play a central role in responding to the
unlocking pathways of how to move ahead. Fine, what's happened has happened. So that is why there have been sectors that have been identified by the organizers, and who you see onto my left and right are people who are representing not just nominally but have a lifetime of work in these sectors. We as a city are fortunate in having such people. It's also a great chance if you're really new to Bengaluru, you feel so invested that I want to do something about it. Here is a chance to actually know who works in which sector. So without further ado, I'm first going to tell you about the sectors themselves, which is energy, buildings, transportation, air quality, water, solid waste, urban planning, greening, biodiversity and disaster management. And to request to all the panelists is also to leave enough time for the audience to be able to engage, therefore to keep your own insights at this point in a crisp manner. I first invite Professor Ashish Verma, and the question which I would like to ask you, if you can also, sir, please take a mic for.
Thanks, Vasanthi. First of all, thanks to the organizers for inviting me. This whole subject of climate mitigation and adaptation, in essence, the climate resiliency is quite close to us as well as researchers, as my research lab. We started this topic with a full report called Climatrans some years back, where we looked at both climate adaptation policies as well as mitigation policies. And going further, it also motivated me to even launch a new journal called Sustainable Transport and Livability, that basically would bring more evidences to understand how transport impacts several dimensions of livability and quality of life, something that we are all discussing and for our future generation. Coming back to the question, with respect to public transport, I have been saying this at various forums. To save the city for today as well as for future, what we need is a dense spider web-like MRTS system. When I say MRTS system, it could be urban rail, it could be metro rail system.
ಇದಾಗಿತ್ತು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವಿಶೇಷ. ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಸುದ್ದಿಗಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರಿ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ 26 ಕನ್ನಡ. ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ.